This is not how movies prepare you for this moment. They don't really tell you that when the person you love gets down on one knee, your brain doesn't immediately go, oh my god, yes. It's more like, wait, is this real? Like, it's not clean in here. It's not just one emotion, it's a whole roller coaster of emotions. It's a lot of things happening all at once. And you're kind of just standing there trying to catch up. So this is my side of the story. What it actually feels like to get proposed to for the very first time. Let me rewind a little. Back to July, the year we met. I think this part matters because I wasn't really dating casually at the time. And I definitely wasn't dating just to be chosen. I was dating very intentionally. For me, marriage wasn't this big fairy tale ending, or it wasn't a finish line. It was just one of the life decisions I knew I wanted to make. Same as just choosing a career, or where I wanted to live, or what kind of life I wanted to build. So when we started dating, I was pretty upfront about it. I told him I was looking for a lifelong partner. If it works out, great. And it felt like he was looking for the same thing. And that kind of certainty in a relationship felt so grounding. It just felt so safe. And for a while, everything felt really good. Then April happened. Nothing really changed with him or with our relationship, but something shifted inside me. At that time, I couldn't really explain it. I just felt off and uneasy. And looking back now, I knew exactly what it was. The good old trauma. It's that kind that creeps up when things start to get serious. I had been in a long relationship before him. Years of showing up, investing emotionally, and then suddenly being let go. So without realizing it, my brain started asking questions I did not want to hear. What if I'm wasting time? What if I go all in again and it doesn't go anywhere? And to feel a little more in control, I did what I think a lot of women do in that situation. I brought up the future. I tried to do it very carefully and very casually, trying to sound chill while my heart was doing something completely opposite. And I asked him where he was at, how he saw us, and what he wanted long term. And honestly, the conversation itself was really good. He was very thoughtful, very present, very thorough and honest about his answers. At the end of the conversation, we agreed on something that made sense for both of us. A year of grace period. It was a time to figure out if this was really it. And logically, it was perfect. But emotionally, I actually walked away feeling completely exposed. Like, I remember thinking, did I just sound like I was begging? And even though he didn't do anything wrong, I still felt small. That in-between phase was probably the hardest because at that point in my life, I didn't really have space to romanticize uncertainty anymore. I wasn't someone who could just say, he's my soulmate, everything will work out. Not because I didn't believe in love, but because I believed more in being real. I wasn't going to marry just to marry, or I didn't want to just keep investing emotionally without knowing if this was going somewhere. So we stayed in that space. At the end of May, we decided to go on our first international trip together. And my sister thought this was the moment. And my friends thought that too. Everyone was like, this is the trip! He's going to propose! But I don't know. I just didn't get that vibe that it was gonna happen on this trip. Because we just talked about marriage and our future. And we agreed to take our time. So in my head, this trip felt more like something to enjoy, not something to expect. And honestly, the way he was during the whole planning, it didn't help either. Usually with the trips, he does a lot of planning because he usually does have a whole list of where he wants to go because he loves traveling. He was very much like, whatever you want to do. Which sounds great because I had a lot of things that I wanted to do in Australia. But also, it doesn't exactly scream proposal plan. So I made the list of all the places that I wanted to go, all the restaurants, all the food that we want to eat. And we'd sit together at night researching everything. Made reservations for anything that needed to be booked ahead, like the tours and hotels. And since we knew that we'd be out all day, we didn't really see the point of booking something fancy just to sleep and leave the next morning. So for once, I took the initiative and I looked up the areas and booked for the cheapest hotel that I could find. And then about a week before the trip, he tells me that he has a good news. So apparently his company has a benefit and we can stay at a much nicer hotel nearby for basically the same price. Like, I would say no to that. So I canceled my reservation and had him take care of the hotel bookings. The day we checked into the hotel, like that day, we had been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. We went out to the Great Barrier Reef and snorkeled all day. And walked on white sand. And so by the time we got back to the hotel around 5 p.m., I was completely done. Like, all I wanted to do was take a nap. But my husband had other plans. He said he wanted to go watch the sunset. And I just remember thinking, no way. Like, I could barely keep my eyes open. So despite his very gentle persistence, I fell asleep. And looking back now, that probably should have been my first clue. And about 30 minutes later, he woke me up and the sky was already turning to this warm pink orange color and we could still make it to the sunset. So when we went down to the restaurant by the beach, one of the waiters walked us towards the dock.
Yes.
And that dock had a sign set up for a private event.
And you?
And he casually tells me that it came with the suite.
何どういうことここ何予約したの
僕がですね、なんと点でついてくるんです。
あそこの部屋に、でもあの部屋そんなに高くない部屋なんでしょ
シャワリだからでしょ
And again, I believed him. Like, I was genuinely just being like, wow, that corporate benefits that he has is actually insane. So he knows I film everything when we travel. So he helped me set up all the cameras that we had. He made sure that the angle was right and the sunset was in the frame. And I remember thinking, could he be any more perfect? Not questioning anything and not noticing anything. And then before I could really process what was happening,
What do you want?
Getting proposed to isn't just happiness. It's everything at once. Relief, fear, butterflies, shock, and gratitude. For me, it was, oh, this is really happening. And suddenly, every hope that I had tried not to say out loud was standing right in front of me. And I don't think love really changed who I was. If anything, it just made me realize how beautiful it is to choose someone and be chosen in return. And he got me good this time. But I guess I'm getting him back.